It's another divestment disaster!
Now available in paperback and e-readers, Spinsterella Goth Girl Summer. Take a trip into the macabre world of goth modeling in the new millennium in this spooktacular Spinsterella story. Pick up your copy of Spinsterella Goth Girl Summer in paperback and e-readers at Amazon.com and online booksellers everywhere. Shot and killed his black girlfriend and stayed with her corpse for 2 weeks until the police were called regarding a smell in the apartment that they lived in.
Court documents reveal new details about the murder of a Denton County woman. Lavera Wardell was found dead inside an apartment near Edwards Road and Colorado Boulevard in Denton nearly 3 weeks ago. Well, this week, police apprehended her fiancé, William Otto, charged him with murder and tampering with evidence. Fox 4's Peyton Yeager has more about the investigation. Peyton.
Heather, and in this case, Denton investigators really had to nail down the complete timeline. The victim's family told me today over the phone that the couple lived together in their Denton apartment. The suspect arrested earlier this week. Police say he did confess to the murder during his police interview. New disturbing details from an arrest affidavit reveal 52-year-old William Otto admitted to detectives he shot and killed his fiancée inside their Denton apartment. Police say he tried to clean up the blood and cover up the smell while he laid next to her for 3 days before eventually taking off towards Texarkana. On May 19th, Denton police received a call from the Timberlinks apartment complex near I-35E and State School Road, claiming a foul odor was coming from a unit. Officers entered and found 39-year-old Lavera Wardell dead from a gunshot wound to the head. Gabby Williams lives at the complex.
It's honestly heartbreaking, and I don't know how it was right above the office. It's the penthouse above the office, and it's right next door to the gym.
Wardell's family confirms to Fox 4 the couple's apartment was above the leasing office. Investigators noticed blood had been scrubbed off the floor and the walls, later obtaining surveillance video of Otto purchasing cleaning supplies a week prior. This week, on Monday, detectives tracked Otto to a motel in Mount Pleasant, about 150 miles east of Denton. During a police interview, Otto told police on May 6th he and Wardell got into a fight and, quote, shot Wardell because she ran toward him with a knife. Otto confessed he used a shotgun, which was found at the crime scene. Otto also admitted he cleaned up the crime scene because he wanted to lay with Wardell, but then left because the odor became too strong. Otto said he, quote, did not want to talk about the incident with anyone, so he did not call the police.
It was very odd to just like, wait, what happened here? It's horrible. I really feel for her family.
And Denton police confirmed there was a history of domestic disturbance calls related to this couple. Otto remains here at the Denton County Jail. He's facing murder and tampering with evidence. His bond is set at $160,000. Steve and Heather.
Now, in this alleged incident that took place in Denton, Texas, 52-year-old William Joseph Otto III allegedly got into an argument with his live-in girlfriend, 39-year-old Lavera Wardell, and as they got into this argument, this is where William Otto alleges that Lavera Wardell pulled a knife on him, and he says this is the reason why he took out a shotgun and wound up shooting her in the head. And after shooting his live-in girlfriend dead, William Otto went out here and did not call the police to basically, again, deal with this whole situation as related to this case of domestic violence. No, what he did was take the corpse of his live-in girlfriend, Lavera Wardell, put it in a bed, and wound up laying next to that body and laid next to her body for 3 straight days until the smell of her decomposing got to be overwhelming to him. And that's when William Otto then decided not to go to the police as related to possibly grieving, but he decided to go to a Home Depot, I believe, and then picked up some cleaning supplies, looked to pick up some cleaning supplies to basically clean up the blood and other evidence as related to the death of his girlfriend. And then, as he sat there in the apartment for 2 straight weeks, he then was overwhelmed by the stench of his girlfriend's body rotting with him in that apartment, to the point where neighbors started to smell her body rotting, and this is when they called the police. And after they called the police, this is where William Otto wound up fleeing the scene and living in a motel where he was found on June 2nd in Mount Pleasant, Texas. And this is where the police then arrested and charged William Otto III with murder and evidence tampering and took him into custody. Now, the police see the alleged behavior of William Otto as an isolated incident, but when I take a critical examination of William Otto's alleged behavior, it definitely fits the pattern and profile for beta males that I talk about in my book, The Man Crisis. And it's clear to me that Lavera Wardell basically was thinking that she hit the jackpot by getting involved with this white man, William Joseph Otto. Unfortunately, she was so spellbound and mesmerized by this white man's white skin and crystal brown eyes that she couldn't really see the clear and present danger from the predators that she was involved with. Now, when it comes down to a lot of these black women, when they get the attention of a white man, they really don't think critically about why this man is paying attention to them, because they're so caught up in just getting the attention of a white man who they think will elevate their social status, that they don't even think critically about more important things like their health, like their safety, and even, the most important intangible, their life. And that's what happened here in the case of Lavera Wardell. She was so caught up in having this white man and having a relationship with this white man that she couldn't see that this guy possibly had some serious issues for an extended period of time, as related to his behavior. No, she was thinking, oh, I got me a white man, not asking the critical question, why does this white man want to be involved with me when this white man can go out here and have a relationship with a white woman? And she was thinking, oh, this because a white man's paying attention to me, it's something positive, not understanding the only white guys who look to pay attention to black women are usually beta males. But this woman was thinking, oh, I got me a white man, and I'm going to be able to divest from the black community, not understanding that she was in a path for a divestment disaster that would lead to her demise. And that's what happened, sadly, here as she got involved with this white man, who I believe this relationship was deteriorating for an extended period of time due to this man's very, I believe, disturbing behavior she wanted to give a pass to as related to being so-called eccentricities as related to him being white, when in actuality what was happening here was with this beta male was basically one of these white pookies who basically was simmering and boiling in anger. And as he simmered and boiled in anger, this woman was oblivious to the anger that this man had, because it looks like to me that he was one of these dudes who possibly was one of these white pookies who had no job and was basically sitting up in this woman's house, simmering and boiling in anger. And as they were sitting in this house, she was basically frustrated with this guy to the point, like many black women are with Pookie, where the vitamin D just ain't doing it for them anymore because this man ain't pulling his weight. And that's the way I believe things happened in this whole relationship that deteriorated, because she basically was looking for this white man to be the ideal and sweeping her off her feet and taking her on to happily ever after. But sadly, this woman was caught up in the middle of a divestment disaster with a white male Pookie who basically did not have no money, did not have no job, was not able to take care of business. This is what I'm speculating he was. Again, sitting up in her house, she's covering all the bills, expecting this man to possibly take her to her dream of happily ever after. But sadly, what happened here was she got caught up in a divestment disaster with a white man who basically she was having issues with. And as she was having issues with this white man, again, things started to escalate as related to this argument. That's the only thing that I can speculate possibly happened, because when it comes down to these black women, again, for things to get that hot that she allegedly pulled a weapon on this dude, according to his story, things had to be falling apart for an extended period of time. But when it comes down to spellbound black women, they can't see the danger that they're in. No, they can't see that this guy is not a good catch, because they don't really understand how the social marketplace works. No, they don't understand how it works, and how if you've got a white or a non-black guy checking for you, it's because in his social marketplace with a pool of white women, they see that he has serious issues. But many of these black women, because they are just so desperate for attention from somebody white or non-black, they can't see that this guy has issues, because this guy had to have serious issues to, again, wind up shooting this woman in the head, laying next to a woman who was taking a shotgun blast to the head. Half her skull is possibly basically gone. Take her body and put it inside of a bed, put it in a bed and lay next to it. This is the type of behavior, antisocial behavior, I've documented as related to many beta males, as related to their whole mind, as when they enter the secret world. And they enter the secret world, again, because this is the place where they feel secure about expressing their natural masculinity and natural sexuality. And this is where they go out here and express their behavior in depraved ways. Depraved ways like, again, shooting a woman in the head, taking her body and putting it into a bed next to them, laying next to that body as it's bleeding on the mattress and the sheets. And again, laying in that bed for 3 straight days, and then after laying in that bed for 3 straight days, then going and looking to keep their world smooth by going out here and picking up some cleaning products to clean up the mess as related to the woman that they killed, and then staying in that apartment for 2 weeks, because he possibly could stay there for 2 weeks because he ain't had no job. Because if he had a job, employers would be looking for him. So what this man wanted to do was maintain his smooth world. He wanted to maintain his smooth world after taking the life of this woman. Again, this black woman thought that she was getting a man that she loved, not understanding that when it comes down to beta males really don't know how to love anyone, because everyone in their world isn't a real person, because they live in a rose-colored reality. And as they live in a rose-colored reality, everybody in that world is an object, and all it takes is a person disagreeing with that person for them to see that that person doesn't have any humanity whatsoever, and believe that they have a right to take that person's life. And that's what I believe happened here in the case of William Joseph Otto III. He basically got into an argument with his black girlfriend, a black girlfriend who he basically was with because no other white woman wanted this dude. No other white woman wanted this dude because they knew that there was something instinctively wrong with this dude. But sadly, this black woman went out here and got with this dude, believing in a covert contract that if she got with this white man, she would be able to #divest and leave the black community and be taken to happily ever after. But sadly, she wound up taking a trip to the shadow realm as related to a divestment disaster where this man showed how inhumane he was regarding a woman he supposedly loved. But that really showed to me because that he really didn't love this woman, because basically with this white guy, what happens with him is he didn't really love this woman. No, he loved the idea of her. He loved the idea of having a place to stay. He loved the idea of getting sexual access at this woman's vagina. He loved being able to get with this woman, he loved those things as related to the external parts of a relationship, but he didn't love the internal parts of this woman. Because if he had loved this woman, if there was an argument, what he'd done was basically have either left the apartment and then called 911, or he would have basically left the apartment and then went into the shelter system, because he would realize that his quality of life was not good with this woman. He basically would have charged this woman to the game and kept it pushing, but because he didn't love this woman and basically saw her as an ends to a means, he basically felt that he had the justification to go out here and take this woman's life, take this black woman's life, because he just basically had no regard for her at all. I mean, he basically saw her as a piece of property. I mean, that's what a male does when he's, again, has something that breaks. He just leaves it in the apartment for a couple days before he winds up throwing it away. But this man knew what he was doing. He knew what he was doing with malice of forethought. That was shown with his actions. I mean, this man showed how little regard he had for this woman's life, because he laid next to her body for 3 days, laying in blood, laying in all of the things of decomposure, and sat there again, laying there until he couldn't stand the smell anymore, because it wasn't making his world smooth. And as he tried to smooth his world out, he tried to use chemicals to clean up the mess. But as the stench of her body decomposing basically got progressively worse, he basically looked to leave that whole situation, looking to avoid any sort of accountability or responsibility, and only wanted to stay again out in that hotel until the police caught him. And that's when he confessed to this crime. He confessed to this crime, and now is on a road to going from being a man who was involved in an interracial relationship based on convenience to now being on a road to being convicted and sentenced to life in prison for this extremely heinous crime. An extremely heinous crime, again, where he showed no regard for this black woman's human life, showed no regard because he basically didn't even allow her family a chance to have a funeral. That's how self-centered this monster was. He didn't even consider her having a funeral as related to things, didn't even allow the family to have closure, because that body is basically rotted to the point where they can't even have an open casket funeral for this black woman. And this whole situation, again, shows how disturbing these beta males are that many black women want to put on a pedestal. These guys basically ain't right in the head, and basically they deserve whatever they get in prison. And this guy, basically, he's going to be headed to the penitentiary, where he's going to have to deal with Bubba, Tiny, Roscoe, Big Dave, Melvin, and Mr. Sprinkles. And they basically going to be looking to go out here and keep him around as related to trading him for Little Debbie snack cakes, ramen noodles, packets of Crystal Light lemonade, packets of Crystal Light tea, Keith coffee, Taster's Choice coffee, off-brand orange drink, off-brand grape drink, off-brand strawberry kiwi drink, off-brand grape drink, off-brand lemon lime drink, off-brand mango drink, off-brand apple juice, off-brand fruit punch, off-brand apple juice, off-brand Oreo cookies, off-brand duplex cookies, off-brand vanilla wafers, off-brand ginger snaps, Hunt's snack pack puddings, packets of Velveeta cheese, packets of soy sauce, packets of sriracha sauce, packets of honey mustard, prison pretzels, prison chips, Fritos chips, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle pies. I mean, they gonna be trading this white boy for all of the commissary, and Bubba, Tiny, Roscoe, Big Dave, Melvin, and Mr. Sprinkles gonna wind up bending this dude over, spit roasting him, and then after they wind up spit roasting this dude and turning him out, Mr. Sprinkles gonna come in, then go out here, spray the front side and the back side with special sauce, then call all the guys from Cell Block D to look at this guy's backside, and as he splits the cheeks open and shows dude's backside looking like the inside of a Louisiana crunch cake. And that's where William Joseph Otto will realize he should have just left this relationship and moved on. But the whole situation here is another tragic case of black women, again, not understanding the clear and present danger of looking to go out here and participate in swirling and divesting. That's what happened here, sadly, to Lavera Wardell. She basically went out here thinking, oh, I'll get with this white man and everything will be good. He's an older white man. He should know how to do things. But no, when it comes down to these older white males who pursue relationships with black women, in a lot of cases, they're getting involved with that black woman, not because they love that black woman, but because they have run out of options, because in their community, white women, see them as a clear and present danger. They see them as having serious issues. But when it comes down to black women, they're just so caught up in their feelings, thinking that they hit the jackpot and that they basically are in a situation where they're going to have a successful relationship with a white man, not understanding he's one of the ones they rejected, and one of the ones they rejected because these men, again, have serious issues, especially these beta males that most black women go for, not understanding that they are no different than the pookies that they go for. And as they get involved with these men, they don't understand that these men have little regard for them at all. No, they basically are like Pookie with them for convenience. And unlike Pookie, who can basically be dealt with by calling 911, these white men, again, play by a different set of rules. And because they play by a different set of rules, they basically wind up getting involved with this white man, not understanding that this guy ain't wrapped too tight. He's living in a rose-colored reality. He's in a secret world where he doesn't see you as a person. Yeah, I know I'm repeating, but I want you to understand the danger that many black women put themselves in, thinking, hey, I'm getting a good quality guy, when you're getting the guy that white women didn't want and basically ain't looking to get upset about, because this guy, they know something's wrong with him. And there's definitely something wrong with a dude who, again, as related to settling an argument, doesn't walk out of the house. Again, this guy had to possibly be, as I see it from my years of doing research on the man crisis, seething at this black woman for years, simmering and boiling in anger about possibly not being able to be a man and be the man that he wanted to be, and feeling like he had to settle for this black woman and settle for staying in her house. I mean, this man had to be seething for years, and then it just exploded in this rage, because for a guy to have a shotgun at a woman and a woman to allegedly have a knife at him, that situation had to be deteriorated. This is just going by his word. Now, I know some people will say this is the story that white guys love to tell as related to things, but the whole thing is this guy, again, wasn't really right in the head, because he's sitting there, again, with a woman for 3 days with her body laying next to it. Again, I think that, again, was possibly an attempt to try to appear insane, because, again, his actions after her body decomposed show the malice of forethought, because he basically knew he had committed a crime and didn't look to contact the police, because had this been an argument, he could have contacted the police, but he knew he had committed a crime and that he didn't want to, again, take accountability or responsibility for that crime, and thought he would get off. And again, this is the type of guy that many black women want to put on a pedestal as related to taking them away from their problems. A lot of black women think, oh, this white guy is the same, when the problem is them, and they're attracting these toxic men because they don't see that you are what you attract. And as they're so caught up in their dream of, again, going to happily ever after, they can't see that they're dealing with a man in crisis who's going to take them straight to a divestment disaster. Now, if you want to learn how to identify the behavior of a beta male so you can avoid the danger that they can put you in, you can pick up my book, The Man Crisis, on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find The Man Crisis in other online booksellers like Draft Digital, Google Play, Barnes & Noble, and big box retailers like Walmart and Target. And if you want to learn why so many black women wind up in bad situations like this, you can pick up my book, Why 70% of Black Women Are Single, on Amazon.com, along with The Man Crisis, and learn why so many black women don't see that changing the color of the man doesn't change the character, and that you keep attracting these kind of guys. You keep attracting these kind of guys because you're that kind of woman. And that's the sad part that happens here, that leads to so many black women who think they're going to head to happily ever after, heading straight into a divestment disaster. And if you want to see me make more videos talking about this man crisis, or the issues of black women in divestment disasters, you can drop a donation to the Patreon, the PayPal, or the Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.
Now available for the first time in paperback, Why 70% of Black Women Are Single. Learn all the reasons why so many black women can't find a husband and why 70% of black women are single. Get your copy of Why 70% of Black Women Are Single on Amazon.com today.
Now available in paperback and Kindle Unlimited, The Man Crisis. Learn why so many men are struggling to find their way in an increasingly gynocentric world in The Man Crisis. Get your copy of The Man Crisis in paperback and Kindle Unlimited today. Support black-owned and black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.